What's going on YouTube? My name is KingProdigy, and in today's video I'm going to bring you guys my top 5 class setups for the Modern Warfare beta. A little disclaimer though, this beta is still capped currently at level 20. The FAMAS is actually unlocked level 21, and in my opinion, based on what I've seen and by playing with the FAMAS on the default class, the FAMAS is going to be one of the best guns in the game. So just a little disclaimer, this top 5 does not include that. Also, just like to mention my code KP is 30% off now on G Fuel. Make sure you guys using code KP. You guys have about 5 days now to take advantage of that. If you send me a screenshot or a tweet of your order confirmation, I'll follow you guys back. I'll add you guys on PlayStation, all that stuff. So make sure you guys are trying out G Fuel. There is no better time to do it. Lastly, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you guys drop a like on the video and subscribe with post notifications on if you guys are new and want to stay up to date. I clocked 45 hours just on stream over the last beta, so I'd say I'm pretty familiar with the game. I went through a lot of the classes and tried out a bunch of different attachments because there's like 30 plus attachments per guns, and one attachment can literally change the entire feel of a gun. So I put a lot of hours into this, a lot of in-game time playing around with these attachment stuff. But enough about all of that, let's just get right into this video. So on screen now at number 5 is my MP7 class. Just for a little note as well, the perks that I will be using on every single class except for the top class are going to be EOD, Ghost, and Battle Hardened. They're essentially the flak jacket, tac mask equivalent of this Call of Duty, and if you guys haven't seen already, nades, claymores, stuns, all that stuff are super OP. So I'll be using those on literally everything again besides the top number 1 class. On my MP7, I like to use heavy duty barrel, the GI mini reflex, the lightweight stock vertical foregrip, and pistol grip stippled. Personally, I found that the MP7 class setup on screen here works best on the smallest of maps and is honestly one of the most satisfying guns to use in this game. However, there is a rushing class setup that I prefer more, hence this setup's number 5 ranking. Since on this class setup we are going for a more run and gun style, the attachments you really want to run on this at a bare minimum are the stippled pistol grip, which allows you to aim in faster and aim in from sprint faster, and the heavy barrel, which increases the damage your bullets do at range. Once you get past like 20 feet, this gun turns into a marshmallow shooter without this attachment, so make sure you use it. If you guys don't like the setup that I'm using, make sure at a bare minimum you're using those 2 attachments because those are totally gun changing. And number 4, I have this reflex sight MP5 class setup utilizing a muzzle brake, vertical foregrip, 10mm auto ammunition, and a pistol grip stippled. And yes, this is the same pistol grip attachment that we saw on the rear grip section. On the first class setup, a lot of the guns aim in very slow in this game, and so a lot of people are using that attachment to try to counter that. Also on the MP5, using these types of bullets actually give you more damage on the gun. A lot of the pros I've seen are running this as well as the pistol grip stippled. I also think that you should run the vertical foregrip on this gun, so make sure you guys are running those 3, the pistol grip, the vertical foregrip, and then the 10mm ammo. Coming in at number 3, we have a non-reflex sight MP5 class setup. This MP5 class setup utilizes the basically same attachments as the last setup. However, one key difference here is this does not have an optic. I highly suggest getting used to all of these guns with iron sights because adding any sort of optic besides the 4x zoom is actually going to decrease your ADS speed. It's going to make you aim in slower, and in a game where it is super important to get not only the first couple bullets on people but accurately aim at people because the guns kill just that quickly, these quick draw equivalent attachments are a must. On this class in particular, I have chosen to substitute out the reflex sight for the lightweight stock, allowing you to move around the map while ADS'd a little quicker. I found that this was extremely important because most of the time if you are pre-aimed on a doorway, for example, you will most likely win that gunfight if somebody comes through, and being able to of course move faster while you're doing that, maybe to stay straight from side to side in the gunfight, is pretty helpful. At number 2, we are going to be using the M4. The M4 is one of the best, if not arguably the best gun in this game. Again, we're ignoring the FAMAS here, but just because we haven't unlocked it. On the M4, I currently use muzzle brake, which adds recoil control. I use the operator reflex sight, lightweight stock, the pistol grip stippled, and the angled foregrip. I personally would not recommend deviating too much from this setup, but again, if I had to pick things that I would deem to be the most important, I would say the muzzle brake, because it again allows you to have more recoil control and the angled foregrip. This gun is kind of odd. It has a lot more horizontal recoil or side-to-side recoil than most guns, so I almost found it worth it to use that as opposed to a vertical foregrip, which you can just basically pull down on your right analog stick. But I'd also like to point out as well, there is a 4x sight on this gun, which essentially is a toggleable sight between a holographic and a actual 4x sight, and this sight actually gives you a faster ADS speed. I personally didn't like it because in this game, when you're double sprinting, I found that when I was clicking sprint, sometimes it would flick to the 4x sight in the middle of a gunfight or right before a gunfight, and it would get me killed. So that's why I'm not using that, but definitely make sure you try that out because again, it allows you to aim in faster and have less recoil. Coming in at number 1, I have a class setup with overkill again. I would just like to mention though at this point that this is the exact same M4 attachments as the last class. This is the only class that I do not use the EOD perk for number 1. And as well, I do switch out my nades for claymores pretty often. This class setup is super overpowered and I am mind blown that people are not using shotguns in this game. I know it sounds a little ridiculous, but in this Call of Duty, notable people like even Korean are using overkill to get nukes, and there is a very good reason. The main reasons people are using it is because it allows you to get a 100% advantage on your opponent in different areas of the map. Second off, it allows you to get multi-kills. Again, it is very difficult in this game to take on multiple people at the same time because the guns kill extremely quickly. So having something like, say, a shotgun for if somebody comes around the corner next to his buddy is extremely beneficial, as I'm sure you guys saw in the beginning clip of the video. On screen now is a very easy to understand explanation of how I like to use this class. And as you can imagine, if you combine the range of the M4 with the power of the shotgun up close, you really have a pretty deadly combination. And on that note, guys, that is going to be the end for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys drop a like and let me know down in the comments below what class setups you guys like to use that are your favorite. Until next time, guys, this has been KingProdigy. Peace.